Hello, you're tuning into AWANI Review. My name is Cynthia Ng. Today we are diving into the world of solar power, which is a pivotal player in the clean energy transition. Now, over the years, the cost of installing solar panels has decreased substantially, but is this cost reduction enough to kickstart a widespread adoption of solar panels or solar energy, and what other factors are in place? So today, joining me to discuss this a bit more is Zeth. He is the CEO and founder of Verdant Solar, one of the largest residential solar providers in Malaysia. First of all, thank you so much, Zeth, for making time to come to the studio to speak with me about this.
Thanks for having me, Cynthia.
Well, Zeth, let's just kick things off with a bit of a backstory. If you founded the company, I think it was back in 2013. Could you walk us through that journey of yours and what was the main idea behind Verdant Solar?
I think that time I'm trying to find, I was about 28 years old. I'm trying to find my direction. I was working in the bank, and before working in the bank, I was an R&D engineer writing software for a machine. And I always wanted to enjoy problem solving, enjoy creating things that I think that way, then eventually it will become something that what I envision. So that's always what I wanted to do. And I thought entrepreneurship would be something that is suitable for me. Thus, I actually trying to find a lot of opportunity during my working times. I actually started about 6 to 7 businesses during that times, but eventually didn't work out until I actually ventured into this solar business, where it's also a friend that actually mentioned to me about solar industry, and I found that it's very interesting because it's something good for the environment. At the same time, I found that this is something for the future, right? We might, when it comes to entrepreneurship, definitely I hope that I can venture into industry where the market are going bigger, where it's not sunset, but it's a sunrise business and all those things. And this is how I actually came into this industry 10 years ago.
So quite interestingly, Malaysia has quite a number of solar players, but Verdant is focused on residential solar. And I think, I know I mentioned earlier in the show that solar energy has come a long way. You know, the costs have decreased by so much. Could you give us a sense or a picture of how widespread of solar adoption is for residential players in Malaysia?
Sure. At the very beginning, when starting FIT, feed-in tariff era, where starting end of 2011, it stopped at 2017. Throughout that 6 years times, we are talking about maybe 10,000 houses installed with solar panels. And throughout the past 3 years, we are talking about 20,000 houses installed. Even this year, we are looking at about 11 to 12,000 houses installed just by 2023. So the take-up rate is definitely double, tripled. We are growing 131% compared to last year.
And this is for Verdant?
I mean the whole industry.
The whole industry.
For Verdant, we are growing about 100% every year for the past 4 years. That's our growth rate. Thanks to the industry growth. So I would definitely say that now is one of the best times for the markets due to the price of the system actually dropping. The same maybe 4 kilowatt peak system when I came into this industry, we are selling about 48,000. Now the same system size, we are selling at about 18,000. That is about 60 to 70% drop in terms of the whole system size.
Do you think we are at a sweet spot for a massive or uptake or adoption? Do you think all the pieces are in place for that to happen?
Yes, definitely. We have a good policy when it comes to net energy metering, where people are wanted to apply for that. And at the same time, we have the benefit of the module price, solar panel price, inverter price actually dropping. And it costs us the return of investment actually one of the best now. We are talking about less than 4 years for big system size.
Okay.
This is something that we didn't see that. During FIT, we are talking about 6 to 8 years of payback. And now we are talking about maybe 3+ years to close to 6 years of payback. So it's definitely one of the best time. And just to get some phenomena to prove that is that recently our take-up rate on NEM actually super fast. Like we used to see, like early of the year, we are seeing about 17 to 20 houses applied in a day. As of yesterday, we see 140 houses applied in a day. So we are talking about maybe 100+ houses installed in a day for the whole Malaysia, not just Verdant itself. So it's definitely one of the best time for residential solar at the moment.
That's really exciting, the growth that you're seeing. But I do want to talk a bit about, despite costs coming down and policies are in place. I mean, looking at data, only the top 1% of domestic customers in Malaysia made the switch to solar. So is upfront cost the biggest factor for India in this decision, or are there other factors at play? What's stopping more people to take up solar?
Yeah, definitely. The affordability is one of the big things that actually prevent the adoption of the solar industry. However, I would say that at the market right now, there's still some financial mechanism that actually helps customer to own solar easier. One of it will be banks are willing to give out up to 10 years of loan, where by applying those loans during the first month, they are positive cash flow. There's banks that willing to give out 5 years interest-free easy payment scheme with their credit cards. With some system size, month one, they are already positive cash flow. And definitely, we are talking about like government during the 2024 budget, they are encouraging more companies are trying to come out with zero capex, maybe rent to own kind of concept, or maybe solar leasing kind of concept. With that, I would believe it will even increase the solar adoption. Apart from that, challenges, definitely there is another one will be more on the policy side, that the market is getting bigger. At the same time, the quota that allowed by the government also getting bigger, which is good news. However, the take-up rate is so fast, right? We are growing about 100%, which is something that I don't think the government are seeing that when they're trying to come up with the policy, because 100% a year is huge. But the fact is that it really happens. Thus, it will kind of like stop the application or installation due to they cannot apply the quota. And without applying the quota, it's hard for them because the excess of the energy during daytime, they can't export to the grid. And it will become wastage, or they might need to install battery system and so on.
Is that a challenge that Verdant is facing right now, more demand than the supply allows?
Yes, I think that will be the team are super stressed at the moment, super high capacity. They work overtimes, maybe Sunday, Saturday, because they want to rush for the quota before it's ended. Yep.
Okay, so now talking about quota, I believe Budget 2024 sends some really strong signals about the government's push for green tech, extending NEM, I think, until December 31st, 2024. And the government is also teasing about possibly a roof solar buyback program. Now, the details have yet to be announced. Perhaps you can walk us through some of the insights you have gotten from the industry, or what do you hope to see from this kind of initiatives that have been announced by the government?
Probably is something from my personal point of view when it comes to solar buyback. I would definitely love to see two ways. First would be from the single buyer, which is mainly TMB now. They are willing to buy back something like feed-in tariff with a lower fixed tariff, maybe 15 to 20 years of tenure compared to 10 years for NEM or 21 years for FIT last time. That could be something that I'm happy to see that. And because opening up to that, there's more investors are willing to invest on top solar panel on other people's roof, right? And the second part would be multi-buyer, where we are able to open up something like the TPA that we open for CGPP, like the third-party access to the grid.
That's for commercial.
Yeah,
right?
But if we are able to use this third-party access to residential, something like peer-to-peer, right? Today I can generate electricity from my roof, but I might not be consuming so much. And now the only thing that I can do is I reduce my installation system size. But if that happens, I could actually just install as much as possible so long my roof are able to fit, and the excess I can actually sell to my neighbor, to my peer. So if you're able to have that kind of peer-to-peer mechanism for residential, that would be something that I would love to see from this solar buyback mechanism.
Now, speaking from maybe a consumer perspective, not commercial, right, like a residential home, I think right now, besides the cost factor, is also the question about technology, especially when it comes to storage. As you have rightly mentioned, you have a number of hours available with the sun when it's out. But what happens after that, right? Is the battery technology has advanced? Talk to us about that. Has it advanced to a point where it makes sense commercially for an individual customer, to invest I believe it's still about 30,000 ringgit for a solar PV on your rooftop.
Yep. For PV, we are talking about maybe 20 to 50,000, depends on the system size. With battery, we could be double up the whole pricing. But some good news is that there's more players. I mean, battery suppliers that actually came into the industry, and because of the advancement of the EV, where we are using the same type of battery system, we see the drop of the price.
Okay.
Right. I do believe maybe by the next 3 years to 5 years time, we are really able to see home actually installed not just with solar panel, but also with battery. And by then, we are actually kind of like have the decentralization of our solar system, where we won't be create a lot of stress to the grid, and we at the same times during the power outage and all that thing, we still able to consume energy from our battery system.
Okay, talk to us then about your company, Verdant. What's the biggest obstacle or challenge right now to scale your operations? Is it to reach out to more households, to convince them, is this the right time to make the switch to solar? What is the conversation that you're having with your consumers or your potential customers?
I would say that at the moment, like us, we are quite blessed with the market. One of the challenges is definitely how to become bigger and better, right? The market is big. We definitely have some way to capture the markets. But however, we want to capture the market at the same time, we want to make sure that our customers' experience is good. We are making sure that installation defect is low, installation speed is fast, which is challenging, right? Because everyone are looking for talent at the moment and looking for good installer at the moment. So I wouldn't say that at the moment the biggest challenge is on the market. I would say it's about trying to find a balance to become not just bigger, but better. Yeah.
What about maintenance? Talk to us about that, because yes, you spend a lot of money to install a solar panel, but what happens after that?
Yep.
You mentioned that the ROI has decreased, the time frame has decreased to about
less than 4 years.
Less than 4 years now, but
system.
within that 4 years, what about upkeep? What happens then?
Yeah, that's also one of the myths that a lot of our customers will think that solar panel you will need a lot of maintenance, but the fact is that it's not necessary. Because for solar panel, the only thing that you will need to do will be cleaning of the panels and some checking and all those things. And we will generally advise our customer to do it maybe 2 years once, rather than every 6 months and whatsoever. And the good news about that is that most of our package actually came with some maintenance, so that we want to give customer at least peace of mind for some certain period of times. During this period of time, we will do the free maintenance for our customers.
It's like water filter then.
Yep.
That comes with, usually, like you buy this, it comes with a free
4
maintenance,
months.
or buying a car.
Correct.
In that instance.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, I do want to get your point from an industry player, right? Beyond incentives, the government is throwing a lot of, money or tax exemption, tax redemption to green tech. Not just solar, you have EVs, you have other green efforts. But beyond incentives, looking at best practices in other places, what's your take on making solar more accessible to consumers right now?
Okay, I would say the first one is definitely the consistency of the policy. Right? Government, good news about we are going to extend the NEM policy until 2024. However, we see the take-up rate of the quota are actually super fast. Then we might not have enough quota until end of
So expand more
2024.
quota.
Yeah, so if government are able to have that would be something super good, because I see that the market based on the current policy is kind of like self-consume the quota and all those things. Definitely, the second one is also some policy that will help the battery system. Just like when it comes to 2012, before FIT, solar industry is hard to scale because the payback is long and the price is high and all those things. This happens to our battery system for now. And if government are able to come up with some incentive or maybe some for this battery system particularly, I believe it will be able to help that to kickstart maybe for the next 3 years, and eventually the market will consume by itself. The third one could be developer-ready home, right? Now we don't have a very friendly policy when it comes to solar-ready home for developers. Like developer, they want to install 400 houses, 1,000 houses, but it could be 3 years later. And what will be the policy after 3 years? They have no visibility.
Okay.
And it's hard for them to make that kind of decision. And when they came to us, asked us to design all those things, that will be always the discussion that we are talking about and all those things. So that might be stopping them from doing so. And the next one is also about to eliminate the application of quota when it comes to some certain maybe 72 kilowatt, or maybe we can just, good news for Sarawak, like announced yesterday, they just passed the bill of anything below 50 kilowatt, basically you don't need to apply any license, you can just install. So that would be a good news if you are able to do that. Like everyone, I want to save energy, I can just buy panels from someone, I just install and that's it, so long it's below the certain limit. And the last one is also talking about the SARE, which is a supply agreement for renewable energy, where TNB now are doing for commercial projects, but not residential projects. Because when I try to talk to investor, asking them for investment to invest in residential projects so that we can get something like solar leasing, one of the things that they always mention would be the SARE is not in place. And because of SARE is not in place, they have a big risk. Why I say so is that with SARE, for commercial projects, if the factory owner didn't pay TNB bill, basically TNB are able to actually cut off their supplies. And because of that, they wouldn't want to take the risk, right? Because then they cannot operate their factories.
So what's a better option there? What's a better alternative?
So if this one can be applied to residential, that would be good. Because now, if we invest in the system for battery system in someone's house, if someone didn't pay to the investor can maybe just see TOS and whatsoever. But if this SARE came in place, TNB are able to actually cut off. It reduced, it minimized the risk, and it definitely increased the appetite of the investor to come into this space.
I was looking through budget 2024, and I do not see anything regarding battery storage just yet.
Yep.
How about the policies in the NTER? Do you see something along those lines to help boost or for the industry when it comes to battery storage?
So far, we don't see that yet in NETR. Yep.
Not yet.
Yep.
Okay. Are there discussions in place, do you think, within the industry, within your conversations among your peers?
Yeah, definitely. I think people from SEDA, from Surujan, Terangga, ST, they are definitely talking about battery system, because eventually we need to make sure we are able to grow this battery solar installation. One of the challenges that we always heard will be TNB will have facing a lot of challenges if, let's say, so much of a solar system or actually kind of like export the access to the grid due to
you mean the capacity of the grid to handle it?
Yes. But with battery system, this could be solved, because there's zero export to the grid, and everything you will just consume by yourself, and you kind of like stand alone. Independent power producer for yourself. So
based on my understanding, TNB is also moving towards smart grid system, right? So
yep.
How will that help with boosting solar uptake among consumers, residential or industrial?
Definitely it helps, because if that happens, now they are able to allow more export to the grid. Like recently for residential, there is a limitation for installation capacity, like 3-phase up to 12.5 kilowatt, where you can't grow beyond that. And we have customer that is billed 2,000, 3,000 ringgit. They are not so keen towards installing solar, because they said, because of the limitation, I will just saving maybe 50% of my bill. I want more than that, right? So, but if TNB have the smart grid system, they are able to improve that, then more people are willing to enjoy the installation of solar panel.
All right, now fascinating. If I can just pull it back a bit and talk about uptake among residential customers, I think right now the trend has tend to kicked off mostly in more richer neighborhoods, not just Malaysia, no, everywhere else, of course, because there's a high upfront cost, right? And this might potentially limit access for others as well. So I was wondering, from your perspective, Verdant Solar, how are you making sure that everyone gets a fair share of access to solar energy?
I think if we compare today to 5 years to 10 years back, we are getting more people are able to afford because of the loan and the easy payment scheme. But having said so, definitely there's still people that might not have that much of credit card limits and all those things. And in order for them to enjoy, like what government proposed, like they can rent out their roof, they are able to kind of like buy back, someone able to buy back from their generation. That would be something that enable the maybe B40 to actually involve in solar installation. And I would love to see that happens, so that it's not just for maybe the top 20% kind of people that are able to enjoy that.
Okay. Now, in terms of looking at Malaysia as a whole, if we zoom out a bit, how do you think Malaysia is stacking up on the global stage in the race towards a green future, and where does residential solar fit into the picture, do you think?
I would say we are definitely not the best and not the worst when it comes to that. When it comes to comparing to Australia, where 30% of their household actually installed with solar panel, their battery system installation is already there many years back. But having said that, their tariff is high. They are about 1 ringgit Malaysia compared to us, and at the same time, because of their currency, the affordability is also getting high. If you compare to Thailand, although they don't have something like NEM like us, but their adoption when it comes to battery system are actually good. Surprisingly, Tesla Power actually chose Thailand as the first market to launch that probably 3 years back, and the market take-up rate is beyond their expectation. And that would be really telling us we need to have some catch-up game when it comes to that. But if you compare to maybe Indonesia and also some other company like Vietnam, their policy when it comes to residential solar are not so attractive compared to Malaysia and EM. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. If we were to benchmark ourselves against someone that's doing, in a country that's doing better than us, Thailand, what do they have in place that we do not have at this point?
I would say first would be our tariff are actually still low in the industry.
So there's no real incentive yet to move to solar. In that sense.
Yes, yes. And the second thing is also when it comes to there is NEM, right? People have more options. When it comes to option, they will probably choose the NEM rather than choose the battery system compared to Thailand, where they don't have NEM policy. So they can only go for the battery system. And the third one, I do believe, is that their adoption of EV car actually is high. And because of that, they are more keen towards solar panels to reduce their energy that used to charge their EV.
Okay, and I understand that Verdant is also trying to go into EV as well. Right?
We are exploring about EV charger. That's one of the direction that we are going into.
Okay, and how's that going?
Something that hopefully we are going to launch it somewhere early next year.
Okay, exciting. All right. And in a couple of minutes that we have left, I do want to get your thoughts as an industry player. What innovations or groundbreaking technology are you excited about in the solar space that you think could be a game changer for the industry in the years to come?
Personally, I would say that like in Verdant, we believe into clean tech ecosystem. We always aspired to not just become a solar company, but a clean tech company, mainly focused on residential, because that's where our heartbeat is. We love to see our customer happy, they're smart and all that compared to commercial side. So my belief is that if the ecosystem that enable the renewable energy efficiency products that came into the same apps, where our customers are able to just add smart home system into our apps, they are able to add the EV charger, they are able to add their BES battery systems into that, and anything related to clean tech, and they are able to monitor their generation, their consumption in one single apps, and we are able to have all the data there. They were able to tell them, your system are generating, performing well compared to your neighbors and all those things. And in future, they want to install battery, they can just click a button. They are able to do that because we have all the data. That's my belief in terms of the whole ecosystem. Like recently, our apps also, they are able to make payment. They are able to know their installation status. They know their plant performance. I do believe in future it will be one single place where you will have anything related to your renewable energy and energy efficiency related
so
products.
Flexibility and visibility as well for a consumer. Okay, and just finally, for our viewers who are pondering about, should I make the move now to solar? What's the word on timing? Should they wait for prices to drop a bit further, or how much can they save really if they switch to solar right now?
It's always hard to say about timing because during MCO we see that the price is actually up and then now it's going down. But if you ask me, now is definitely one of the best time that we see when it comes to the payback of the system size. So I would definitely recommend that. It's not just that because I'm in this industry, but it's definitely because of the data, the fact that we gathered, and I would say now is definitely one of the best time for anyone to react if you really want to venture into this renewable energy journey.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Zeth, for spending some time to talk to us about solar energy. And best of luck to you and Verdant in your journey to make the clean energy transition possible.
Thank you.
Thank
Cynthia.
you, Zeth.
Yeah.
You have been tuning in to AWANI Review with me, Cynthia Ng. We'll see you again in the next episode.